Good morning, everybody. This is Britton Harvest. I am Britton Harvest. I am your favorite speaker. I was up all night because, when I dream, I like to pay attention to my dreams because I feel as though they're giving me a signal or a sign that this is what I should be doing or this is the direction that I should be going. And so I was up last night and it kept coming to me that I should speak on domestic violence because 1 in 3 women are in a domestic situation. Statistics show. So when you are in a domestic situation, a lot of times you tend to forgive the person over and over and over again, thinking that they're going to change. And so when they're beating you or when they're physically abusive to you, let me rephrase that, I'd rather use that word instead. When they're physically abusive towards you, you don't see what everybody else outside sees. You don't see the pain that this person is putting you through. You don't see the torment that this person is putting you through. Hurt people hurt people. So when you are in a situation where somebody is physically abusive towards you and you feel as though you need to stay because that's your definition of love, you're wrong. You're wrong. Nobody puts their hands on someone when they actually love them. Nobody sits up there and puts that person through so much pain when they actually love them. Because what that person is actually doing, that person is beating you into submission. They're beating the fight out of you. They're making you submit to the point where say, hey, I can't control you verbally. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to physically control you. I'm going to physically beat the fight out of you until the point where you don't want to leave. You have no choice but to stay because as soon as I physically abuse you, I turn around and tell you how sorry I am, or I come up with some excuse as to my mom was beaten, so I used to see my mom getting beaten. I thought that was the thing to do. None of the excuses will work. When someone is physically abusive towards you, it's time to leave. It's situations where I can remember. I've had several friends that are no longer here. And these friends would sit up here and we would be on the phone and they would tell me over and over again how this person loves them. And I said, well, how can this person love you if they're beating on you and you're scared to talk about it? Well, it doesn't happen all the time, or it's an isolated incident, or, he's going to change. I guarantee you, these people that I was on the phone with, that I was talking to, they're no longer here. And I guarantee them, I said, it's not going to stop. This person is not going to stop abusing you. And they took it upon themselves to continue to go on with that relationship. And lo and behold, now they're no longer here to speak about it. Now they're no longer here to tell their story. There's a situation that happened on the Eastern Boulevard at this bar, this well-known bar that we all used to go to all the time. Guy pulls up, knew that his girlfriend was in the bar, opened fire. Now she's no longer here to tell her story. She's no longer here to tell a story, but I remember exactly when I used to talk to this lady, and I told her, listen to me, this is not what you want. When somebody is sitting up here telling you what they're going to do, you better believe it. But she didn't want to listen. She didn't want to hear my I was trying to help her, but it was so much I can do. And when she came to me and told me what was going on, I was compelled to say something to her about it. I was compelled to try to help her in any way, shape that I could. The person is no longer here. She's no longer here to tell her story. And there are a lot of women out there like that. There are a lot of people in abusive relationships that when you look back on it, they're no longer here to tell their story. So I want you all to understand that this video is particularly for you, specifically for you. I want you to share this video to as many people as you can. There are a lot of people around you that are hurting. There are a lot of people around you that don't know who to turn to. They want to cry out for help, but they don't believe that anybody would believe them. And you got a lot of people that they want help, but they're scared because the fight has been beaten out of them. The fight has been beaten out of them. They don't even feel like fighting anymore. Let me tell you something. When the person that you are fighting for, all of a sudden, the person that you're fighting for, now all of a sudden, you're fighting for your life. The same person that you're fighting for to be in a relationship with, now you're fighting for your life. Where does a person go? What does a person do when that turns? When that situation turns for the worse, when that situation becomes ugly, what is a person to do? What is a person to do when the whole time that they thinking that this person actually loves them and that person is expressing themselves through love by beating on them, so they think, and they thinking that, hey, this is the way it's supposed to be. No, it's not. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be beat on. You're not supposed to be sitting up there, somebody choking you out, somebody throwing you up against the wall. That's not love. And for anybody that's out there that's going through this situation, you need to leave now. You need to find you someone, whether it's a family member, friend, co-worker, you name it, church member. You need to find somebody that you can talk to, that you can console in, and you need to let them know. There are situations where women have been beaten to the point where they don't even want to go around their own family members. They'd rather go to their shop and sit up there and cry and hide their wounds because they don't want to see anybody. They don't want anybody to see them in the situation that they're in. That's ridiculous, man. That's not love. I've had women that have been shot at by their boyfriend. What kind of situation is that where your boyfriend shoots at you and you're still with him? That's not love. Situations where women have been thrown up against the wall to the 2x4, head and hit the 2x4, they've been knocked unconscious, and they thinking that it's okay. They've been choked out to the point where they've been laid to dead. I've had situations where women have been choked out, laid there for dead, boyfriend has left, and they like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? And then when the children try to come outside to see what's going on, you telling the children to go back in because you don't want the children to see you in that predicament that you're in. That's not love. Anytime you're in a situation where somebody decides to put their hands on you, one time is enough. It's time to go. If you got to press charges, press charges. But as soon as someone decides that they need to put their hand on you, remember, 1 in 3 people are in an abusive relationship. So as soon as that happens, it's time to leave. There is no excuse for that. There is no excuse for that because, like I said, there are women who are no longer here to tell their story. There are women that are no longer here to sit and warn people about the abusive situation that they was in. You know why? Because they thought that it was going to change. They thought the guy was going to sit here and do a 180. They thought the guy was going to all of a sudden wake up and become this reformed individual. It doesn't work like that. If somebody is putting their hands on you, if somebody is abusing you, it's time for you to get out. It's time for you to get out, and you need to get out now. Because a lot of times there are signs. A lot of times people around you see the signs, but you don't see the signs. You don't see the signs because it's hard to see the picture when you are in the frame. It's hard. It's hard to see the picture when you are in the frame because you got people on the outside looking in that can tell you things about that picture that you can't see. And if people are trying to tell you that actually care about you and they're trying to tell you what it is that they see and you don't want to take heed to what it is that they're telling you, and all of a sudden you find yourself fighting for your life because this person that you thought actually loved you is actually abusing you to the point where you're scared to leave, to the point where you're scared to talk to someone, to the point where you feel as though you don't even want to live anymore. That's not love. Nobody's supposed to sit up here and put their hands on you. Come on, man. How can you live with yourself knowing that you put somebody else above yourself? You put this person that you're dating feelings above your own kids. You got kids that are dependent on you. And when you got kids depending on you, there's no way you should sit here and let somebody else who's abusing you supersede that. There's no way. That's not love. That abusive relationship will end you up in a situation where you will no longer be around to tell your story. You will no longer be around to help individuals that are out here that need your help, that need to hear your story. I'm sharing this video because I want individuals, male or female. If you are in an abusive situation, you need to get out now. You need to get out now. Quit thinking about it. Quit overanalyzing it. If you're in a situation where you're being abused, it's time for you to get out now. 1 in 3 people are being abused in this country. 1 out of 3. That means 1 out of 3 people that you look at are hurting. They're hurting and they don't know how to express themselves. They're hurting and they don't know how to get out of the situation. Confide in somebody that you actually think is beneficial to you. Somebody that you feel as though wants to look out for your best interest. You need to get out. You need to. Because if not, you're going to find yourselves in a situation like the friends that I've known who are no longer here, who cannot tell their story, and all of a sudden they wish they would have did something totally different. They wish they would have. It was a woman who lived on these apartment complexes off Patrol Highway. Boyfriend shot her, killed her, then all of a sudden he killed himself because he couldn't live with the consequences of what he just did. Come on, man. That's not love. That's not what you're supposed to sit up here and that's the relationships that you all probably are envying, that you probably really think they're great relationships. Those are probably the people that are hurting and you don't even realize it. And this video is for them. I want each and every individual, if you are hurting, if you are in an abusive relationship, you need to get out. You need to reach out and tell somebody. You need to tell a family member. You need to tell a friend. You need to tell anybody who's willing to listen that, hey, I am being abused and I don't know what my next step is. But I know one thing, I need to get out because I love my children too much, because I love myself too much to continue to put myself through this situation. If you're in an abusive relationship, get out. Get out. This is breadcrumbs, hashtag breadcrumbs, hashtag random acts of kindness, hashtag GG. I'm out.